Right off the bat, Jamie has good manners, offering a helping hand by picking up the ironically ignored laminated paper rules from the ground before the game, preventing Yoon from having to bend over while holding expensive camera equipment, reflecting Griffin's ability to truly live in the moment, a quality that is common amongst champions. Second of all, Jamie might have figured something about the tray flip and isn't telling us. Everything you hear about the tray flip is it's all about the scoop. You gotta put your back foot in the pocket and hang your toes over the tail for extra scoop grip. But Jamie's scoop foot is nowhere near the pocket and almost looks like he's setting up for a 3-shove, but the little tweak of the back foot scoop after the pop is still visible upon review, achieving the physics needed to fulfill the necessary tray flip board rotation requirements. Jamie's front foot on the 3-flip is almost going straight up after the pop, like you see a lot of skaters do for an impossible, but the board is definitely still doing a tray flip. Looking at Luan's tray flip, his back toes don't hang too much over the board and isn't super deep in the pocket, but his front foot does way more of a kickflip motion after the pop compared to Jamie, and his overall setup looks like traditional tray flip foot positioning. The difference in Jamie and Luan's tray flip setups result in two drastically different looking tray flips. Luan's well-popped tray flip looks like a horizontal 3-shove with a subtle flip in the air, or what you might consider the traditional tray style, while Jamie's unique foot setup makes his tray flip take on more of a vertical, impossible-esque motion with a distinct flip while in the air. This isn't to say one tray flip is right or one is wrong, but Jamie being able to comfortably and confidently tray flip with such an unconventional back foot positioning during a high-stakes game of skate begs the question, what other chamber of flat ground secrets is the Griffin hiding under those blazer mids? After seeing Jamie's switch tray flip, it could be that the back foot positioning on the regular tray has something to do with his own scoop not getting enough airtime, because the switch version simultaneously acted as a trick and a broom, blowing the minds of both Luis Mora and his erased apprentice. Noticing the opportunity to capitalize on a potential weak spot, including the switch tray and Jamie's somewhat wonky fakey flip on defense, Luan found hope in the form of giving Griffin letter S on the fakey frontside kickflip. But once Jamie fended off a fakey hard and a switch shove, Luan expanded on the stances, and even executed an attack on another potential chink in Griffin's armor via the switch front 3. But the slippery barracks ground proved too much of an ally to Jamie for Oliveira to invest any further. Not that it's the first time it's ever happened here, but these revert tricks are quickly making their way towards becoming another point of contention in the barracks tournament. With Luan's half-cap hard, or whatever fakey hard flip variation you want to call this, not getting the 180 portion of the trick completed until well after all 4 wheels are on the ground. Luan smoothly performed the trick with adequate speed in real time to make it look like one fluid motion, but on the replay we're doing a lot of power sliding here, and since offense is such a powerful position to be in during a game of skate, there might be a little too much freedom in giving these liberally rotated offensive tricks a pass. As a result, that awkward hard flip trick gave the best flat ground skater the barracks has ever seen a letter. Luan decides to throw away a boosted backside flip mid-air, giving Jamie control, at which point Griffin sets a big spin, the easiest trick he sets in the game, at 83% defensively successful. Oliveira puts some flair in fending off Jamie's 66% defensively difficult pressure flip, somehow mobilizing his front foot on a trick that's said to be a 100% back foot trick. The often argued about impossible from Luan and Jamie surprisingly didn't raise any eyebrows. Both gentlemen impressively hug the tail of their grip with at least their toes from the camera angles provided. A varial heel flip would be Jamie's third easiest trick set on offense, and Oliveira easily handles landing the 74% defensively successful maneuver. Jamie's 22% defensively successful 540 shove it finally gave Luan a letter after a failed attempt, and keeping his foot on the gas, Griffin gets gimmicky with a heel flip body varial, perhaps as a symbolic call-out to Luan's winning trick in Season 11. Oliveira defies the odds, landing the 40% heel flip body varial, at which point Griffin decelerates the trick difficulty to a 71% defensively successful frontside big spin, handled easily by Luan. The 75% frontside 360 shove it is deceivingly the second easiest trick to defend that was set by Jamie. And the reason it's deceiving is because its 50% offensive success rate is lower than the 75% defensive rate, meaning that people are able to land it on defense more often than on offense. A phenomenon that is found in less than 4% of the 336 unique tricks attempted. Jamie misses his second offensive attempt in Season 13 so far, and his first ever missed double heel, allowing Luan a chance to pick up where he left off on the backside kickflip. After an uneventful nollie heel to cleanse the palate, Luan just as quickly misses an 80% offensively successful nollie varial kickflip. The second one he's ever missed out of 10 attempts, and with the second chance window of doing damage to Griffin now closed, Jamie commences an all too familiar, authoritative onslaught of low percentage defensively successful tricks. The double heel flip is landed on defense 14% of the time it's attempted, which Luan understandably missed. The bigger spin is even lower at 12%, which, like the double heel, Luan missed on the one and only time he's attempted it. The laser flip was the easiest letter set by Jamie. The trick is 36% defensively successful, but Luan missed his third straight defensive attempt at the 360 front shove heel and got his third straight letter for T. From there, Jamie metaphorically pinched the game's quickly dimming candle with the Gen Z era's equivalent of the tournament's Mike Moe flip via a 0% nollie backside backfoot impossible, giving Jamie his 9th straight win, tying Jocelyn and Seva for second most consecutive wins, first when Seva won Season 8 and returned in Season 10 with a runner-up performance, and Chris's 9 straight wins came from being the Season 10 champ and making it to the next season's championship match. PJ remains the consecutive wins leader at 10 during his back-to-back title run in Seasons 5 and 6 back in the early to mid-2010s. For finals night, the data says Jamie and his 1,800-plus all-time ELO give him the biggest target on his back, as he prepares to face this season's second-best skater on paper, Peterson. Nick Holt's 1431 ELO, which isn't far off from Tyler's 1485, gives the Texas native a statistical advantage over the veteran underdog Chris Cole, whose ELO is 1216. Defensively speaking, Tyler and Jamie are nearly identical in their ability to land tricks under pressure at 80% on average, but it takes harder tricks to give Griffin letters than it does for Peterson, with the Irishman's average trick difficulty from his defensive misses being 32.41%, nearly 10% lower than Peterson's 42%, meaning it takes 10% harder tricks on defense to give Jamie a letter than Tyler. A similar scenario exists with Nick and Chris's average defense. Both of their defensive consistencies are around 70%, but the letters only metric isn't as drastically different like Peterson and Griffin. Both Cole and Holt sit at around 50% each. The numbers say Jamie beats Tyler and Nick beats Cole, and then Griffin goes on to win his second straight title by beating Holt in a Cariuma-less championship game. Uncontrollable variables like inconsistent and unpredictable reffing decisions can have a significant impact on the outcomes at finals night, and may indeed throw off the ELO predictions.
It's good. Defense.
Jamie is the only finals night skater this season to have won a game against 3 former champions. Griffin beat Season 2 champ Cole last year, and Season 8 champ Seva and Season 11 champ Luan this year. Cole, Peterson, and Holt have each beat 2 different former champions. Cole beat eventual Season 3 champ Paul for the second season title, and this season beat the Pro vs. Joe champ Cody. Peterson beat Season 8 champ Seva last season, and controversially beat an injured Jocelyn in Season 13. Holt hasn't beat a former champion this season, but beat 2 former champs in Season 7 when he took out 2-timer PJ in Round 1 and Season 4 champ Morgan Smith in Round 2. Finals night in Season 13 represents a new era of younger flat ground savvy skaters, and a 41-year-old, 2-time SOTY and successful street contest circuit competitor who's somehow still able to land a lot of flat ground tricks. With all due respect to Chris Cole, and even considering the impressive likelihood that he could end up winning, against skaters almost half his age, I personally wish Cody was in the finals. Nothing against Cole, it's just that he's already essentially mastered skateboardings on many levels, even winning this very flat ground contest 11 seasons ago, and seeing him return to finals night for a second year, after getting a, let's say, less than 100% objectively competitive path through the bracket, would give his theoretical second flat ground title an asterisk. If you remember, Cole lost to Paul last season in Round 4, but was asked to return to finals night at the last minute to give Jamie a competitor, since P-Rod prioritized Copenhagen over the Barracks, so Chris didn't even technically earn his position in finals outright last season. This season, his round 2 game that was supposed to be against Carlos was a circus act, so even though one round later, when Cody was a good sport about taking the initiative to redo his switch frontside bigger spin without the ref asking him to, Cepeda in finals night might have been a technically more fair and exciting result if Cole didn't decide to shut down his round 3 game with the 3-shove underflip. There's so many other problems though, like Dylan Jabe not being in this competition, along with other flat ground rippers, which would have made for much better games, instead of highly forgettable duds like the Braden and Leo matchup, not to mention the atrociously positioned championship-level pairing in round 1 between Seva and Jamie, highlighting the Barracks' questionable bracket management, particularly in allowing Tyler a relatively brisk walk through the tournament, while Jamie's out here having to face and defeat final bosses each round. And of course, the inconsistent reffing that makes some games serious while others are jokes. With all those issues in perspective, Cole being in finals night isn't that big of an issue, because after all, his Season 2 title included a match against Mike Vallely. The Barracks has the best, biggest venue with a rich history of great skateboarders going head-to-head in high-level flat ground. And they go the extra mile with these games by having multiple camera operators and assigning judges to officiate these battles. Yet through glaringly erroneous bracket assignments and ultimately acting like this whole huge effort is a joke, the excitement just isn't really in the air this season. No one else in skateboarding has the resources, connections, industry ties, nor sheer will to go to the length and scale that the Barracks has in order to host such a popular flat ground competition. But there's still a lot of room for improvement. That being said, finals night should be much better than Season 12, but as much as I want to be wrong, Jamie getting a second title will be great for him, but he's so good that we, the fans, might not get an exciting T-to-T barn burner, because no one else has really proven that they're on Jamie's level yet, so he'll probably win quickly with difficult tricks, which almost means that if Tyler beats Jamie, ideally without any outside interference, the most exciting outcome would be either Cole or Holt taking down the tournament sponsor's Golden Goose.